What is happening, people? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. We are answering your start sit questions for week 4 of the fantasy football season. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you've had a good weekend thus far. I'm going to do my best to help you guys set your lineups, make the right decisions, hopefully. And hopefully anyone out there who sat David Montgomery like myself, we can figure out a way to still get a win. All right, man, I definitely did not expect him to go off for 30 points coming back from injury, but it's good to see. Anyway, welcome in. Do me a favor, go ahead and drop a like if you are just joining the stream. Simple way for you to support, to show some support, is to drop a like. Drop your questions in order. I'll go through them in order. If you want your question answered straight away, drop a super chat and I'll get to it straight away. But let's get to it without further ado. The first question I can see here is from Corey Miller. What's up, man? 12-team, half PPR, super flex. Trade away Kirk, Cousins, Puka, and Moss for Burrow, Diggs, and Dalvin Cook. Is that a good move? Okay, here's what I'll say. Really don't like getting Dalvin Cook on the team. I obviously prefer Diggs over Puka long term. And then Kirk Cousins and Burrow, I gotta be honest with you guys. Like I see a very similar outcome between these two guys rest of the year. Clearly in a dynasty league you prefer Burrow, but rest of season I really think Kirk and Burrow are very similar. So this really depends on your running back depth, honestly, my man. Because losing Moss for Dalvin, I mean, I honestly, I could probably list like 50 running backs I'd prefer over Dalvin right now. As crazy as that sounds, it's just rough over there. Sammy Clark, what's up, Sammy? Says start 2 Jacobs, Mixon, James Cook, Kamara, and Mostert. Good Lord, Sammy. Good Lord, my man. Starting the stream off with an impossible question to answer. So Mixon's matchup is pretty tough at Tennessee. I know Josh Jacobs has been really poor, but he's top 5 in usage. This would be Jacobs and Mostert for me. This would be Jacobs and Mostert, but to be honest with you, my man, like in every league I'm in, those are all players that are starting, so it's a tough one. What's up, Cole? Cole says, should I start Tutu Atwell or Debo at flex in full PPR? If Debo plays, I believe you need to play Debo, so Debo would be my answer there. Kyrus, what's up, Kyrus? Thanks for all the uploads. Just wondering if any news has changed your opinion. Two flex. This would be, geez Louise, Kyrus, I can't even remember what we answered the last time you would have asked this question. Again, another example of how are you sitting any of these players. This would be, I believe, Kyron Williams and T. Higgins and Deebo Samuel are probably ranked so close for me. Let me double check. This would be Deebo if he plays, and Kyron if Deebo does not play, it would be Kyron and T. Higgins. What's up, Cole? Start 2 Bijan, Jacobs, or Kyron. This would be Bijan and Kyron for me. What is up, Bike Walker? Someone dropped Ayuk last week, so I scooped him off waivers. Should I start him over one of these guys? Yeah, I'm starting him over Connor. I'm starting him over Stevenson. I'm starting him over Kamara. So I'm starting him over all the options you listed, if that's helpful. Brew Nile, what's up, my man? I traded Jamar Chase for Josh Jacobs and Jalen Waddle. I have James Cook at RB1 and Gibbs, who already played. Then I have Ayuk at flex. Who should I bench between Cook and Brandon Ayuk for Jacobs? Right, so you want to start Josh Jacobs, and you're saying, okay, I see where you're coming from. If it's a PPR league, I'm starting Brandon Ayuk, and man, Jacobs and Cook, dude. I'll be 100% honest with you. That is the flip of a coin. Right now, I would lean Jacobs because of the usage, but my God, that is a flip of the coin. I potentially need to reassess that now that we know Jimmy G will not be playing. But yeah, man, hopefully that's helpful. Should I start Purdy or Burrow? Yeah, this is a tough one for me. For me, it's Purdy this week, and you know, I do expect Joe Burrow to bounce back. I expect him to have a good week against Tennessee. It's a great matchup for him, but Brock Purdy also has a fine matchup versus Arizona, and he's proven it 3 weeks now. Kenneth Walker or Tony Pollard. Both of these guys are absolute locked and loaded, must start. Top 4 running backs in my rankings this week, Cole. You're asking me to pick between 2 top 4 running backs. How am I supposed to answer the question? Tony Pollard? Would y'all trade Pickens for Brian Robinson? That's a pretty even deal, I would say. Depends on your needs, but even deal. Patrick Mahomey, what is up, Patrick Mahomey? He said, hey guys, I'm thinking about offering either Romeo Doubs or McLaurin and Charbonnet for Cooper Kupp. I know it's a risk, so am I offering too much? All right, so let's answer the question. I'm thinking about offering either Doubs or McLaurin and Charbonnet for Kupp. If you don't need Charbonnet and you're pretty comfortable at running back and you don't need kind of like that lottery ticket if you hit on an injury, then yeah, I'd be super comfortable sending either one of those guys for Kupp. I like the upside play. Breece Hall or Josh Kelly? This question is going to ruin me. I did just update my rankings over on the Flock Fantasy website, and with Austin Eckler officially doubtful, I had to rank Josh Kelly. And it's not something I want to do, guys. I don't want to rank Josh Kelly. I don't want to tell you about Josh Kelly. I don't want to tell you that you probably should start him, even though it's been awful over some other options. And in this scenario, I'm starting Josh Kelly. And I can't believe those words coming out of my mouth. I know it's been piss poor, but what can we say about Breece Hall? That offense is awful. Last in points per game, last in yards per game, second to last in first downs per game, second to last in red zone attempts per game. They're getting shut down by every team, and Kansas City's defense looks legit. I'm going to go Josh Kelly. I hate it, but here we are. Telling you to start Josh Kelly after 2 bad weeks. It's just process over results at this point. But obviously, rest of the season, you prefer Breece Hall. Hey, guys, over 50 people watching the stream. Thanks for hanging out with me. Badaki is not here. It's his wifey's birthday, so they're hanging out. I'm solo dolo. Do me a favor. Go ahead and drop a like on the stream. Such a simple way for you to help the channel grow by dropping a like. And in return, I'm going to do my best to answer as many start-sit questions as I can. If you want a question answered straight away, drop a super chat. Otherwise, we'll go in order here. Akshay, what is up, my man? Pick 2 of 3. Evans, Pickens, Dell. I think Evans is risky this week. Evans, Pickens, Dell. So I totally hear you. Evans is risky. You're not wrong. Like, this is historically, it's been a real boom bust matchup versus Marcus Lattimore. And you also have to take into account that there's a chance, it's not likely, but there's a chance that Mike Evans gets tossed out of this game because he starts a brawl with Marcus Lattimore, or Marcus Lattimore starts one with him. However, we are talking about a player who in the first 3 weeks is averaging over 9 targets a game and has a touchdown in every single performance. So while I have Evans lower in my rankings this week, he's my wide receiver 20. He is someone that I would start. It would be Evans and it would be Pickens for me. I do love Dell this week. He's definitely someone that I'm excited about starting, but you have better options. What is up, Donald? Good evening. It's also Friday night in America. Wait. How? There's no way it's Friday night. Isn't it Saturday over there? Surely everyone's watching college football on a Saturday, unless I'm going crazy. No, it's got to be a Saturday. Thoughts on Jake Ferguson rest of season? This is someone that over on our Dynasty channel, I talked about last year as a taxi stash, and he's just a fun player to have. He's when you look at the tight end position, it's just so much variance. If you can attach yourself to a high-powered offense and someone who gets red zone looks, that's what you got there with Jake Ferguson. That's a fine option unless you have a clear solidified tight end. Chupacabra, what's up, brother? Judy, Addison, D-Hop, Jerome, 1 for the flex spot. Judy, Addison, D-Hop, Ford. This would be Addison for me. I am hoping and believing, as I talked about in my video this week, that we continually see a larger and larger target share, snaps, routes run for Jordan Addison. So yeah, we're going to go Addison there. T. Higgins, Lockett, or Flowers this week. This would be T. Higgins for me. Great matchup versus the Titans. I know it's been bad, but I'm going T. Higgins. Tank Dell or Michael Pittman? Great question. I'm going to go Michael Pittman Jr. here versus the Rams. Rams have been a better defense than people anticipated. But yeah, we're going Pity City there. PL, what's up? Yo, Nico, Palmer, Thielen, pick one. This would be Nico for me. Just had to double check that. Yeah, this would be Nico for me. Jameson Williams. Oh boy, I cannot tell you how excited I am to see Jameson Williams back on the field, man. I was looking through my dynasty leagues and currently have him in 80% of my dynasty leagues. Just one of those players I loved coming out and excited to see him play. Where do you expect him to rank on the depth chart? I would expect him to be the wide receiver 2. Now, I'm not saying that's the first week that he's back. I'm not saying first week he's back, Josh Reynolds is irrelevant, Marvin Jones is irrelevant. They will work him in. I understand that, you know, he's not dealing with the ACL injury anymore, but remember, guys, he was limited in preseason because of injuries. So they'll limit him back. He hasn't been able to be with the team or with the training staff to recover from the injury. I'm not saying he's going to be limited by the injury, but overall, I would expect them to slowly work him in. This is a player I would not start his first week back. I would need to see it in a couple weeks, but I'm excited about him for sure, and that offense looks incredible. What is up, Sam? Should I feel okay with Samaje being my RB3 in a start 3 RB league if Sanders is out? Sounds like you have to be okay with it, Sam. 3 RB league. Does no one like to have fun in that league? You guys just want to put yourself through pain? Come on. John Bits, what's up, John? 12 team full PPR flex spot. Ramondre Stevenson or Jacoby Myers with Garoppolo out. That's a very, very good question. I would probably lean Jacoby if Jimmy was playing, but we just don't know exactly what will happen with Jacoby without Jimmy. So I would go Ramondre here. Have to hope that he gets work through the air. He's not been the same player. It's not only opportunities, but it's also efficiency. He's not been the same efficient player that we saw throughout the beginning of his career. So let's hope that turns around for him. All right, we have our first super chat of the day from Big Breakfast. So because you donated, I will get to your question straight away, Big Breakfast. Thank you for the dono. So the question is, James Cook, Achane, Javonte Williams, start 2. Okay, so we have to start 2. We're definitely going to go James Cook there. The next question is between Javonte Williams and Devon Achane. And I would slightly lean Javonte Williams. They're in the same tier for me. They're only a couple spots different in my rankings. But Javonte goes up against the Chicago Bears. That is a very good matchup. We have seen multiple running backs completely dominate the Chicago Bears, as well as Javonte's team, oddly enough. But I'm just double checking. The Bears currently, let me look at this for you guys. The Bears currently are the 3rd best matchup for running backs. So we're going to go James Cook and Javonte Williams. But, man, I want to start. I really, really want to start Devon in my leagues. It's just fun, right? It's just fun to start him. All right, Victor. What is up, Victor? Should I drop Dylan for Elijah Mitchell? Start Breece Hall or Tyler Algier? Should I drop Dylan for Elijah Mitchell? Neither of those guys are going to have any value unless there's an injury ahead of them. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of like, do you have a crystal ball? Because then you would know the answer to that one. No idea. I'd rather have Mitchell, to be honest, because if CMC does go down, I know we have seen good games from Mitchell. Dylan's already had the chance and he hasn't proven it. The other question is start Breece Hall or Tyler Algier. And this one is very, very close for me. But I would lean Breece Hall there. This would be Breece Hall slightly for me. But yeah, hopefully that is helpful. Karen, what's up, Karen? Rachaad White dropped 8-team. Should I drop Madison or Achane to pick him up? Thanks. Rachaad White was dropped. It's an 8-team league. Man, I know this sounds crazy, but like in an 8-man, I think I'd rather wait and see what Achane looks like. It sounds like your waivers are pretty full of options. Madison and White, I view very similar the rest of the year. So I hope that's helpful. Addison or Palmer. Yeah, this one we will go Jordan Addison. Bayern, start 1, half PPR. Robinson, Wilson, and Palmer. This would be between Josh Palmer and Brian Robinson for me. If I knew Josh Palmer was going to continue to play the role that he's been playing, then it would pretty easily be Josh Palmer. Goes up against the Raiders. It's a good matchup. And he's been the number 2. Johnson has not. Now, that could change. Like, it's very possible that changes, right? Garrett Wilson, I just really struggle to start him at this very moment. And then Brian Robinson. We have Brian Robinson in the most difficult matchup for running backs in all of fantasy football right now. So, yeah, that's a really tough one to answer. If I had to give you an answer, I would lean Palmer, but I really don't like answering that one. I can see why it's a very, very difficult question for you as well. And guys, I just wanted to quickly take a second and remind you that just because we have seen certain players dominate through 3 weeks, that does not indicate that it will happen rest of year, right? I mean, I had someone comment in my video this week. I did running back rankings, and they called me a clown, saying my rankings were trash because I didn't have Raheem Mostert ranked as the number 1 running back this week, right? It's like, really? Like, are you only looking for what's happened or what will happen? And we have to keep in mind that every single year, what happens through the first 3 weeks is not what happens from weeks 4 to 17 to weeks 4 to 18, right? For example, let's just quickly take a second and look at last year. This was the running back room last year, guys, through 3 weeks. I know you want me to get your questions, but I think this is helpful for everyone to hear. This is what the running back rankings looked like last year, through 3 weeks. James Robinson was the RB3. Remember, everyone was freaking out about Travis Etienne. You guys know I love Etienne, so I was telling you to buy him. Clyde Edwards was the RB4. Okay? We were telling you to sell him at that time. Cordero Patterson was the RB6. Swift was the RB5. Khalil Herbert was top 10. Right? CMC wasn't the number 1 yet. Gibson was top 12. They hadn't used Brian Robinson yet. Eckler wasn't hitting his stride yet. It's like, just friendly reminder, just because we have seen certain players produce through 3 weeks does not indicate to us that they will be what they've been the entire year. Curtis Samuel was a wide receiver 8 last year, right? That did not hold up. So I just want to extend a friendly reminder to not panic, to not freak out about certain players, or let's just be open for things to not be exactly how they have been thus far, right? Hopefully we're on the same page there. All right, I got a super chat from Danny, so I'll get to Danny's question straight away. He says, need help. Someone is offering me my Walker for Kupp. My Walker for Kupp. I'm assuming that's Ken Walker for Cooper Kupp. I also have another trade lined up. My St. Brown for Etienne. My team is Burrow, Bijan, Walker, JJ, Sun God. Okay, so here's what I'll say first off. I would rather have Ken Walker than Cooper Kupp right now. It is a lot easier to find starting wide receivers that you can trust in your lineup this year than it is to find reliable running backs. And I do think Zach Charbonnet is going to get more and more involved, kind of as the year goes on. But I do think he is more valuable than Cooper Kupp at this point. And you have to assume that Puka will be used, and Kupp may not be a 12 target per game guy, right? So I would make that trade if it was the 2021 version. Am I thinking that right? Yeah, version of Kupp, but we just don't know if that's going to be the case. And he says also another trade lined up, St. Brown for Etienne. And in this scenario, I would see them very equally valued. Now, you're telling me my team is Burrow, Bijan, Walker, JJ, and Sun God. So what you're giving me is 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, and 2 wide receivers. And it's hard to answer that second question because I don't know what your wide receiver room would look like if you lost St. Brown. I mean, who is after Justin Jefferson, for example, right? If you make this trade, does that mean now I'm starting Justin Jefferson and it's Michael Thomas is the next best one? It's my next best is now a Gabe Davis, right? So like hard to really answer that question. I think your team is really well aligned. If I had a team that had Bijan, Walker, JJ, and Sun God, I'd be feeling incredible right now Just need Burrow to play a little bit better. So I guess in summation, without knowing the full context, I definitely prefer Walker, but with the other one, I don't think you need to mess your team up too much unless you have an incredible wide receiver depth after Sun God. And if that's the case, yes, give me ETN. All right, another super chat here. Thank you for the donation. Really appreciate you. Juan Delaire says, Addison or Nico, Purdy or Fields? Addison or Nico? Let's start there. I'm going Jordan Addison this week. And then Purdy or Fields? I am going Brock Purdy. Love Justin Fields, but they are back-to-back in my rankings, and I prefer Brock Purdy versus the Arizona Cardinals. Just so many weapons around him. We think Devo will be there. We know Kittle and Ayuk will play. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey. So that is obviously a difficult one to answer, but that's what I would be rolling out with, my man. Now, I'll say this. Like, if you played players on Thursday Night Football, let's say you started Luke Musgrave or something, and your opponent had David Montgomery, and you've both played one player each, and you're down 30 points already, like in that scenario, maybe I shoot for the moon and go Fields. But, in your standard, like, 50-50, let's see what happens. Give me Brock Purdy there. Big cock Brock. Brody, what is up? Keenan Allen, Diggs, Lamb, Waddle, Brandon Ayuk. You can only start 2. Jeez Louise. I got to go Keenan Allen and Stephon Diggs there, my man. But that is painful because it's very possible CeeDee Lamb's a wide receiver 1 this week. It's very possible Jalen Waddle outscores everyone on this list, right? In that matchup where we see a lot of points potentially happening. Highest over-under of the week. It's possible Brandon Ayuk comes back and dominates, right? So tough one to answer, but I can't see myself sitting Keenan Allen, especially after a Mike Williams injury, and I can't see myself sitting Stephon Diggs in the highest over-under of the week. So hopefully that is helpful. Thank you for your donation. Really appreciate you. Guys, almost 100 people watching the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm doing my best to answer your start-sit questions. Do me a favor. Go ahead and smash that like button. As I help you set your lineups, you can help the channel grow. And every like does help the channel reach more people. So we appreciate you. Drop a like, subscribe. One more super chat here from Daniel. So we'll get to his question straight away. He says, this is my last game to use Madison, but do I play him, Moss, or Ford? Let's go ahead and turn these little notifications off for now because you guys aren't able to see my face yet. Okay. Do I play him, Moss, or Ford? This would be Zach Moss. What a weird situation with Zach Moss. Am I right? I mean, this is a player that I brought as a sell high this week, and I still feel like you should sell high on him if you can get the players I listed. However, when I do my weekly rankings, I cannot sit Zach Moss in most scenarios. We're talking about a running back who touched the ball 33 times last week. He touched the ball 33 times. I mean, I can probably count on my hand the amount of running backs that have done that in the past 5 years if you take out Derrick Henry, right? I mean, that is ridiculous usage. He's already top 5 in running back attempts. However, we have to keep in mind he's only played 2 games. So Richardson would be back. This ground attack is going to be good. Zach Moss seems like he's the guy. I mean, we have to keep in mind that, Richardson played week 2 versus Houston. I know it wasn't the entire week, but Zach Moss was an important part of that game. He played 98% of snaps. I mean, I'm starting Zach Moss. I cannot sit a guy who just touched the ball 33 times, and maybe I'll look like an idiot. Won't be the first time, but you got to start Zach Moss, in my opinion. Will, another super chat here. We'll get to your question straight away. Will says 2-1, trade Barkley for Eckler, have Swift and Pollard. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. I would have these guys in the same tier in my rest of season rankings, but I would prefer Austin Eckler in a PPR format. So if you're playing PPR, yes. Now, if you told me, hey, this is a standard league, we don't really get that many points for receptions, or maybe you're in a league that has extra bonuses for first downs, then I'll take the Saquon side. But in most formats, I'll take Eckler there. All right, and another super chat there. Thank you so much from Slayer. Appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome today. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the likes. We're having a good stream. Do you trade Walker and Pickens for Lamb and Ingram? Half PPR, I have plenty of running backs and wide receivers, but I need a tight end. Is CeeDee an upgrade to Walker? All right, I think I'm going to need more context here. Do you trade Walker and Pickens for Lamb and Ingram? My first question is, if you lose Ken Walker, who's your other running backs? That is extremely important. Maybe you're listening to this and you can quickly put a comment in before I move on to the next question. Who's your running backs if you lose Ken Walker? Because if you're telling me I'll trade away Ken Walker and then I have to start Isaiah Pacheco and Samaje Perine every week, absolutely not. Like, there's no way you could afford to do that. But if you're moving on from Ken Walker and you still have James Cook and Bijan and Rachaad White, then yeah, you could go ahead and do that. He says Kyren, Achane, Gibbs, Akers. See, no, you don't have the depth. I love Kyren Williams right now. I believe he's going to be an incredible start all year, but there's a chance that that changes, right? He's not a high capital draft capital running back. And then as far as Achane goes, we need to see more consistency. I love Achane, but we need to see more consistency. I mean, let's all be honest here for a second, right? If Devon Achane comes out this week, and I'm not expecting this to happen, but if he comes out this week and he touches the ball 5 times and gets 3 PPR points, what's your confidence level? Like, everyone's going to be like, oh, I'm out again, right? Snip, snap, snip, snap. It's going to be tough. So I think you have to keep Walker. And I hope that is helpful. Baby Cow, a super chat, so we'll get to it straight away. Thank you for the donations today, guys. You are awesome. Half PPR start. Am I starting 1 or 2? Start 1 to 2. I'm confused. Maybe I'm start just 1. Okay. Flowers or Mixon in the flex? This is a very good question. And it's a valid question. It really is. Rashad Bateman is out. OBJ is out. And we came off a 10-target game last week for Zay Flowers. Neither of these guys have ideal matchups. What I will say is I believe Mixon is a safer floor, and I think Flowers is the higher upside play. So based off your matchup, you can make that decision. In a vacuum, I'm going Mixon there because of the work that he's going to see. So we have caught up with all the super chats. Appreciate you guys. We will get to any super chats that drop, but we'll go back in order now. At the top, I believe the next question is from Robert. Sutton or Stevenson at flex? The Bears matchup is looking juicy. You're not wrong, dude. That Bears matchup is looking juicy. I still got to rock with Stevenson, though. And maybe that's on me. Maybe I don't have the confidence and trust I should have in Sutton yet, like others do. But if I had to make that decision, it would be Ramondre. But I'm well aware that it's a wide range of outcome. I mean, we're talking about Sutton, actually. I'm just looking this up. We're talking about Sutton, who hasn't scored under 10 points yet this year. Stevenson's not been great. I mean, I'm just thinking about the way that this game will pan out. I could easily see Stevenson seeing a season high in targets. I'm rocking with Stevenson. That's a tough one. Chris, what's up? Full start 1 flex, full PPR, Nakua, Swift, Ayuk, or Kirk. This would probably be Nakua for me, but it's a very, very good question. Brandon says Javonte or Amari Cooper. I'm going Amari Cooper. However, we need to know that Deshaun Watson's going to play. And right now, we don't know that, do we? That is, like, I do not have the confidence in Amari with Dorian Thompson-Robinson than I do with Deshaun Watson. So that is important. I'll say if Watson doesn't play, I think I would lean Javonte there. What's up, Albert? Welcome in. Jay Judah. Alvin Kamara, Stevenson, Ridley, Atwell, pick 3. All right, so I'm definitely starting Ridley. Oh, I'm going all running backs here. I'm going all running backs there, and I know Atwell's been great, but I feel better about the touches all those running backs will see. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Daniel says Achane or Stevenson full PPR. We're going Stevenson there. Chark or Thomas. I will be going Michael Thomas. I do not trust DJ Chark with with Bryce Young at quarterback. We have some super chats, so we'll get to those straight away. First one is from DJ Horton. By the way, 125 people watching. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'm trying my best to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Super chats get answered straight away. And if you could do me a favor and be so kind as I help you set your lineups, you help the channel grow by smashing the like button. 120 people watching. Can we get to 100 likes? Right now, if we all smash the like button, we could absolutely get there. So I do appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Okay, so the question is, if I put Monty and Ford on the trade block, what do you think I can get? Also, listen to you guys and started Ford instead of Monty, and now I'm sad. I definitely would have said Montgomery. That's what my rankings indicated. So I could be wrong, but I don't think I would have told you to sit Monty for Ford. I mean, my rankings are over on the Flock Fantasy website. You guys can check them out. Maybe that was a miscommunication. I'm not sure, but I'm sorry that that's not worked out for you. But the question, if I put Monty and Ford on the trade block, this is almost an impossible question to answer. You know, I always tell people it's like going to Sonic drive-thru and saying like, hey, how many different combinations of drinks do you guys have? I mean, it's unlimited, right? Every league, you're going to have people who think differently, and every person's going to value players differently. So what I can tell you is some names that I would be looking to trade. Like right now, David Montgomery is a my guy. He was a my guy going into the year. He's someone that I was very excited about. I have him in a lot of leagues. I don't see a reason to sell David Montgomery. Like, I just don't see a reason to do that. On an offense that's going to run the ball a lot, and he looks incredible. So Montgomery's not someone I would be looking to really sell. Jerome Ford's going to be better, but I would sell Jerome Ford if I could get like a James Conner for sure. I would sell Jerome Ford if I can get a Swifty. I would probably sell him on a shot for Jonathan Taylor. I would sell him to get Aaron Jones off a poor game who was on a snap count. I would sell him for Alvin Kamara. So hopefully that's helpful. Danny, what is up, Danny? My brother, my depth chart is tank. My brother. My depth chart is Tank, Dell, Jordan Love, Mims, Sharps, Pacheco, Wilson on IR. Basically, I'm going Walker for ETN and Sun God for Cup. Okay, so you're going Walker for ETN and Sun God for Cup. I mean, yeah, your running back depth is not very good there, my man. But yeah, like if the question is ETN Cup or Walker Sun God, I'm staying Walker Sun God. Like, I think that's, I could be wrong. I think that was what I answered, but yeah, I'm definitely staying Walker and Sun God right now. Cup should be fine, but you're essentially getting the Cooper Cup role in Detroit with Amon-Ra already, you know, without knowing exactly what it will look like. All right, that is all the super chats for now, so we will go up to the top. Dancy is the next question. Flex, PPR, Jacoby Myers, Zach Moss, James Conner. Who should I start? This would be Zach Moss for me. Yeah, it is strange. Start Pittman or Ridley. This would be Ridley for me. Ayuk or Tank Dell. I'm going Ayuk. Half need a flex, Gus Edwards or Khalil Herbert. I'll go Khalil Herbert here. You know, Gus and Justice Hill are going to split touches. Khalil and Rashawn Johnson are going to split touches. Oddly enough, I prefer Rashawn Johnson in this matchup because I think we'll start to see like a change where Rashawn is favored soon. But it's a great matchup. We just saw Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert put up 96 PPR points against that same defense that Herbert's going to play. So I'll go Herbert there. Lon says full PPR, flex spot, Miles Sanders, Addison, Palmer. This would be Miles Sanders if he plays. If he doesn't, I'll go Addison. Daniel says, I heard DraftKings has a bet with Evans and Lattimore getting ejected. These guys hate each other. They just absolutely despise each other. So, yeah, it makes sense. Daniel says, to me, this is the best fantasy football channel on YouTube, but what do I know? I'm just some guy. I mean, you're some guy with a brilliant mind and great things ahead for you, okay? Daniel says, this channel is great. Just started last week and love the advice. Appreciate you. Chupacabra says, I skipped this question. I'm pretty sure I answered your question. Anish, I'm 1 and 2, 10 man. Just traded Chase, Garrett Wilson, and Madison for CD, Jacobs, and Cup. I think that is a very, very smart move. The only way this move does not pan out for you, my man, is if Cooper Kupp ends up missing, let's say, another 3 weeks after this week. That's the only way, but it looks good. Is Watson playing? I do not know. I do not know if he's playing. But if he doesn't play, I would probably move most people slightly down, specifically pass catchers for sure. No worries. Corey says, I have Pacheco and Khalil Herbert and JT on IR, hoping JT comes back soon. I'm with you, man. It would be good to see John, like, wherever you sit on the whole contract thing, it's good to see good players play football, right? We want Jonathan Taylor out there. We want to see, superstars playing the game. So I'm with you. I want to see him play wherever that is. Kelly or Herbert? Yeah, that is a real question. That needs a real answer. Gosh, can't believe I'm saying this. I just want to say, Rolando, that do not come fight me if I get this wrong. But, yeah, I'm starting Josh Kelly. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. That's the start there. Atwell or Garrett Wilson? I'm going Atwell there. Donald Parham. Also, is Chuba a must start if Sanders is ruled out? It's a good matchup, or at least it should be a high-scoring game is what we'll say. Right now, I have Miles Sanders as my RB16. If Miles Sanders is ruled out, I've already kind of thought this through in my head. If Miles Sanders is ruled out, I would put Chuba Hubbard probably right around RB 24-ish range. So, yeah, hopefully that is helpful. Cole Miller says, Kenneth Walker or Bijan, 4-man league. This has to be a joke. You got to be joking with me. Surely that's a joke. But I'll go Bijan. Marvin Mims or Jacoby Myers this week, barring if Jimmy G doesn't play. I think regardless, you got to go Jacoby. Mims is someone I'm excited about season long. His role could grow, but yeah, personally for me, it would be Jacoby there. Rashawn Johnson, add him now, about to break out. I could see it. Donald, what is up, Donald? Full PPR, pick one. Devon Achane, Tank Dell, Josh Palmer, Tutu Atwell. Devon Achane, Tank Dell, Josh Palmer, Tutu Atwell. If I have to pick one, it's Tank Dell, but that is pretty crazy. Jordan, what is up, Jordan? He says, should I start Devon Achane or Josh Palmer? You got Mostert in the lineup already. That is a very difficult question to answer. We have to lower expectations for the entire running backfield compared to what we saw last week. Don't expect the same thing, but I would probably go Achane still. I'm just double checking to see if there's any news that I might have missed as we've been live. No, there's talks about Nick Chubb. Okay. If Deshaun doesn't play, is Winston a good streaming option? He's a fine streaming option. Is he my favorite? No. I prefer Matt Stafford. I prefer CJ Stroud. I prefer Daniel Jones. I prefer Russell Wilson and Geno Smith. But yeah, he's a fine option depending on who are the players that you got out there available to you. What is up, Lon? Is it Lonnie or is it Lon? Donna, what's the Ninja Turtles name? Anyway, I'm wasting time. Full PPR flex spot: Miles Sanders, Addison, or Palmer. This would be Sanders if he plays. If not, we're going Jordan Addison. Lockett or Dell? I'm going with Lockett for now. Trade DJ Moore and Madison for Jacobs. It's a dynasty league. You're going to trade DJ Moore and Alexander Madison for Josh Jacobs. In a 10-man league, I imagine it is easier for you to find a starting running back or starting wide receiver rather than a running back that's getting the volume and guarantee that Jacobs is. So I'm fine with this. I would say, can you not at least get like a third in return? Could you counter and at least like try a second and a third swap? If a worst case scenario, a third. Navin, what is up? He says projected to lose by 17 in PPR, needs some upside. Start Amari, Kirk, or Tank. So if Deshaun Watson plays, you start Amari. You don't overthink that. But if Deshaun Watson does not play and you just need some ridiculous upside, then Kirk or Tank these are fine options. They're honestly ranked 2 spots away from each other. I have Tank 1 spot higher, so that's a tough one. Start 1 running back and 1 flex of these 3 in PPR. Okay, so this would be, man, Kelly and Dameon Pierce. We have to choose between Kelly. I will go Dameon Pierce there. It's a good matchup. There's hope that offense keeps getting better. So I'll start Dameon Pierce, and then I'll start DJ Moore. Daniel says, no way, I used my playbook myself for rankings. Oh, yeah. Love it. Yeah, the Fantasy Pros website, I mean, the thing I use in particular is their draft assistant. I put my rankings in there. Will, what's up? Should I trade Barkley for Eckler? I think we answered this one already. I could be wrong, but yeah, I answered it already in depth, but I'll just quickly say Eckler. Nico Collins or Tank Dell this week? I'm going Tank. Ice Cream, what is up? Start 2 running backs, Mostert, Stevenson, Javonte, Achane, and Kelly. This would be Mostert and Stevenson for me. AB says, who should I bench? So you can only choose one of these names, right, is what I'm assuming. Guess we'll go Mixon because of the matchup. That's a tough one. Greetings from Mexico. Hola. Yeah, hola, right? Adam Thielen or Quentin Johnson? Sheesh. I got to go Adam Thielen. At least we saw Adam Thielen have a touchdown with Bryce Young. It's not looked great with Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is going to continue to get better. He's going to be more comfortable in the NFL. We'll go Thielen for now, but season long, I'd rather have Johnson. What's up, Poke or Flex? Sutton or Atwell? I feel like I really like the matchup the Broncos have. Yeah, that is a good one. Sutton versus the Bears. Obviously, Atwell versus the Colts. I have Sutton ahead right now. And I think that's where I would lean myself. So, yeah. In fact, I feel like I do have Sutton too low. The more we talk about this is why I love these streams, because you guys really test my rankings and really help me kind of come up with the conclusions I need to make. Andrew says 10-team full PPR start 3: Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore, Christian Kirk, Miles Sanders, Jacoby Myers. All right, so you got to start 3 there. We are starting Sanders if he plays. We're starting Jeudy, and we're starting DJ Moore. Now, if Sanders doesn't play, we'll just put Kirk in there as well. Let me close my door. All right. Next question here from 215 Eagles. He says, Rachaad White, James Conner, Raheem Mostert, Ken Walker, start 2. This would be Walker and Mostert for me, my man. That is a tough question, though, for sure. Hey, guys, over 140 people watching the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Can you help me get to 100 likes? The reason we ask you to drop a like is because it really does help the channel grow. When you tell YouTube that you like something, in return, YouTube says maybe other people will like this, and it kind of pushes our content out. So you can help the channel grow by dropping a like while I help you set your lineups, hopefully get you a W this week. We're 25 likes away from 100. So if you would be so kind and drop the like for me. We do have a super chat, a couple here. First one from Styles, so we'll answer that straight away. Styles says, hey, Zach, what is up? Happy week 4. Yes, sir. Start Jeudy or Ford in a half PPR format. Ooh. Good question. Really, really good question. Man, I think a lot of people would be against me here, but I'm going Jeudy. I am going Jerry Jeudy there. Love the matchup versus the Bears. And, I talked about this in week 2. I told people to go trade for Jerry Jeudy. There's a lot of people who were skeptical, and that's fine. I understand. But we talked about how he would continually be more and more involved in this offense. And we have seen that. In week 2, he played 68% of the snaps, got 5 targets in his return. In week 3, he goes up to 76% of the snaps, gets 7 targets. And that stretch last year when he was playing really well with Russell Wilson, in most of those games, he's over 80, 85, 90% of the snaps. That's where I would expect him to get back to. In this matchup, Yeah, I like Judy there. It's a tough one, but I'll roll out Jerry Judy. And another donation from Sam. Sam, thank you so much for the super chat, man. $20 donation. That's a lot. I appreciate you. That's very, very kind. 10 team super flex, half PPR, pick 3. Sutton, Thielen, Pickens, Cooks, Shaheed. I'm down 14, but I've got 11 guys left to play. He only has 9. Just need to keep it close until Sunday night so Mahomes and Kelsey can lift me to the dub. Man, feels so good having Mahomes and Kelsey on your team, eh? I got a couple of dynasty leagues like that. Okay, so we need to pick 3 here between Sutton, Thielen, Pickens, Cook, Shaheed. I could be wrong, but I struggle to start Shaheed without Derek Carr out there. I don't know. I don't think anyone can really say exactly what it looks like, right? So he would be someone that I would sit. Then we have to choose. I'm assuming that's Brandon Cooks that you're asking. So if that is Brandon Cooks, give me Sutton, Thielen, and Pickens. The matchup is great for Thielen. It is Bryce Young. But we saw Thielen get a touchdown with Bryce Young. I mean, remember, I know he was... Excuse me, I know obviously we prefer it to be Andy Dalton, but don't forget in week 2, we saw Adam Thielen get 9 targets and 20 points in PPR formats. So, yeah, I'll go Sutton, Thielen, and Cook and Pickens, excuse me. So, yeah, hopefully that's... He says I also have London as an option. So you have London as an option. So London and Thielen become very, very interesting for me. I'm just double checking my rankings before I answer the question. Ooh, London and Thielen become very interesting. Oh my gosh. I don't think there's a single person on this planet who can answer this question with confidence between London and Thielen. But man, I'll go Drake London there. I'll go Drake London. Hate it. But thank you for the donations. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate you guys. No worries. Mike, what is up, Mike? Hurts, AJ Brown. He's just telling us to line up. I'm 1 and 2. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would not sit AJ Brown, Jamar Chase. Wouldn't sit Jacobs. I would start Kyron Williams over Josh Jacobs myself if it's a PPR format. You didn't mention that, but that's the only change I would make myself. What's up, Gator, my man? Pick 2 half PPR, pretty ugly. Shaheed, Downs, Hodgins, Paris, Calvin. Yeah, that is rough. The dogs are barking on that one, aren't they? Man, Downs is tough because, yeah, he got 12 targets last week. But that was with Gardner Minshew. That wasn't with Anthony Richardson. The most he's had with Anthony Richardson was 7, I believe. He's not really used down the field. He's used, like, his yards per target is somewhere around like 5, if I'm not mistaken. Shaheed is the big threat guy. So I think in that scenario, I'm going to go Shaheed. And I just don't really feel like we've seen Hodgins establish himself at all. I just don't see myself being comfortable starting Hodgins. Austin is another option that's definitely interesting to me. Sheesh. Versus Houston. Oh my God. I hate this question. All right. If it was me, I'm going Shaheed and Downs. All right. What's up, Iron? What's up, Poker? Flex Sutton or Tutu Atwell. I like the matchup the Broncos have. We answered a question similar to that earlier, but this will be Sutton for me. This will be Sutton. Kyron, A-Chain, Gibbs, Akers. This would be Kyron. I don't know how many I get to choose. Maybe this was in relation to a different question. Yeah, this was. My bad. Iron never lies. Start 1 running back and 2 flexes. Full PPR. Javonte, Achane, Najee, Madison, Puka, Tank, Ridley, Judy. Jeez. Okay, so we're going to start Puka and Ridley in our flex. And at the running back spot, for me, the highest ranked running back I have there is probably Javonte Williams. What is up, Lon? Full flex. I think we already answered this, my man. We already answered this question. Make sure you're hanging around on the stream, guys. We're going to get to your question, but we're not going to double answer any questions. DJ Moore and Madison for Jacobs. We already answered this one. Should I drop Algier for Rashawn? Yeah, I'd rather have Rashawn. Daniel Jones or Lamar? I'm still going Lamar Jackson there. Khalil Herbert or Miles Sanders? Sanders if he plays. Otherwise, you know, that question will be answered for you. You're not the only one who sat Monty. I did also, but we didn't know how much time he would play. That's true. My running back depth isn't great, so I had no choice in starting Monty. Well, that's a great situation for you then. What's up, Eagles? James Conner, Collins, White, London, or Gainwell? Start one. For me, this would be James Conner. I mean, I know it's not a good matchup, but he has proven in bad matchups he can be a fine start. Currently 4 likes away from 100, guys. So if you haven't hit the like button yet, you could help us reach that 100 like mark. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Go ahead and drop a like. Kenneth, what is up? Traded Kyron and Jacoby Myers for Calvin. Ooh, that's a pretty high price to pay, Kenneth. I love Calvin Ridley. I'm obsessed with Calvin Ridley. But I think this is too much. I think this is too much of a price to pay, personally. I mean, we expect Jimmy G to be back soon. And we got to realize what Jacoby Myers has done with Jimmy G. I mean, in 2 games with Jimmy G, he's averaging 11 targets per game. He's being targeted on a high percentage of his snaps, and he's averaging over 22 PPR points per game. I just think this potentially undervalues Jacoby, and Kyron's right now he's a must-start running back until further notice. That's a tough one, man. I'm sorry. All right, from Henry, I believe the next question is Purdy, Fields, or Tua? Purdy, Fields, or Tua? Gotta go Tua. My man's balling out, MVP type form, all the weapons. Jalen Waddle's back, quarterback 4 in the year, and the highest over/under on the week versus the Bills. What's up, Tristan? I'm starting Swift, Henry, Chase, Waddle. Who do I flex, Pittman or Mixon? I'm leaning Pittman. If it's PPR, I'm fine with that. Yeah. Trade Swift and DJ for Barkley and Ridley, non-PPR. Swift and DJ for Barkley and Ridley. Oh, yeah, that's a no-brainer for me. I'll take the Barkley-Ridley side. Bully says, my wide receivers are Devontae, Diggs, and AJ in a 10-man. Safe to say I've been putting in work, killing it, absolutely killing it. Okay, we have another super chat here from Steven, so we will get to your question straight away there, Steven. Thank you for the donation. Collins, Dell, or Atwell? You need 2. Also, if Sanders is out, do we start Hubbard? I have a feeling Kelly might go off since bye helps Eckler. Okay, so let's answer the first question. Collins, Dell, or Atwell? You need 2. I'm going to be honest with you. In my rankings, I know Atwell's been great, but I have Nico Collins and Tank Dell ranked ahead of Tutu Atwell right now. So my rankings would tell you to start Nico and Dell. Now, of course, we understand that it's not often that both wide receivers go off in a matchup. The issue is when let's say if you decide to try and galaxy brain it, you're like, I think Dell's going to go off this week, so I'm going to play Dell and Atwell and sit Collins. What happens if Collins goes off and Dell doesn't, do what we think he can do? So you got to shoot for either safety or upside there. You either decide who you think is going to be the bigger play and then play Atwell alongside of them. In my rankings, I would go Collins, Dell. And if Sanders is out, yes, you can start Hubbard. He's a fine option. It's a good matchup. They're throwing the ball to running backs a lot. So, yes, you can absolutely start Hubbard depending on your options there. So, thank you for the super chat, my man. Appreciate you. Very, very kind. But we'll get to the next question in order here. It's from Lucas. If I have to start 2, Ayuk, Waddle, Puka. This would be Puka and Waddle for me. Super chat didn't send. That's strange, Isaac. The only thing that I could suggest is to, if you're on desktop, restart your computer, If you're on iPhone, maybe go ahead and close the app and try again. I'm sorry about that. Appreciate though the thought there. A-Chan or Connor, keep up the good work. This would be James Conner for me, but it's very close. Bully says I flipped Walker for Eckler because this guy was desperate at 0-3. It's a fine trade. Yeah, I prefer Eckler in a PPR league. Shelton says Jameson Williams is on waivers in my league. Ooh, and I can only hold 4 wide receivers. What? What? That sounds like a really controlling league. I'm sorry, you can only have 4 wide receivers? How big is your starting lineup? I'm just thinking in all the leagues I'm in, I'm starting at least 4 wide receivers. So the fact that you can only roster 4 is really strange. But anyway, let's move on past my judgment. Sorry. They are Puka, Addison, Pickens, and Palmer. I can't advise you to drop any of those guys for Jameson, but I also cannot fathom at all why any league in the world would limit you to having 4 wide receivers on your team. That sounds like a horrific league to play in, if I'm honest with you, and a really dumbfounding rule. Just being honest with you. You can send this to your commissioner and then you can comment and tell me I'm an idiot. That's fine. Wilson or Jones. I use my playbook. Wilson or Jones. There's a lot of Joneses out there. There's a lot of Wilsons. I'm assuming it's Russell Wilson and Daniel Jones, and I would go Russell Wilson. Let's see here. And is asking the chat. Young Gods. Happy PPR start. DJ, Lockett, or Judy. This would be Lockett for me. DJ Moore or Terry McLaurin. I'll go DJ Moore. Tua or Josh Allen. I'll go Josh Allen. Both are guys that I really want to start. But yeah, if I had to choose between them, I'd be going Sir Joshua Allen. Sir Josh. Thielen, James Cook, Hollywood, or Hopkins in flex, Wes says. Thielen, James Cook, Hollywood, or Hopkins in flex. We are going James Cook there. We are going James Cook. You'll want to get in that matchup. Highest over-under of the week. Jay Steele, like Jay Feel, as in Jay Feely. Legend kicker of the Miami Dolphins. Anyway, what am I doing? Jay Steele, what's up, my man? Hall, White, Kelly, wide receiver, Collins. Pick 1 running back and 1 flex. God, am I really about to pick Joshua Kelly here? No, I'm not. I'll go Rachaad White. The matchup is disgusting. But Rachaad White is getting fed the ball. So we're going to go Rachaad White there. We're not going to watch the game. Let's be very clear here, Jay. You do not watch the Saints-Bucks game. You start Rachaad White, and you do not put that game on. In fact, if highlights come on Red Zone, just turn off the channel for a second. We don't want to watch that. And then we have to pick a flex, which would be Nico Collins for me there. Thank you for the donation, man. Very, very kind of you. All right. That guy to your right, super flex. Do I flex Bryce Young or Russell Wilson? We're going Russell Wilson. Maybe the best matchup. And, you know, I've been hearing a narrative around the Twitter sphere, the X sphere, that Russell Wilson isn't playing well. That's just not true. Russell Wilson is playing well. He really is. He's like one of the few bright spots of this team so far this year. Gotta start Russell Wilson. What is up, Isaac? You got a super chat, so let's answer that straight away. Thank you for the don't know. Full PPR. Kirk, Nico, or Dell at flex? Okay. Kirk, Nico, or Dell? I'm going Dell. Dell would be the one I would choose. But any of those guys could outscore the others. But I'm going to take Dell. And then Pitt or Buffalo defense. Well, let's check my rankings over on the Flock Fantasy website. Over 3,000 people have viewed that this week. Check out the description. Use our promo code LAND if you want to sign up and get my weekly rankings. Over 340 plus players ranked every single week in an easy to follow format. A document that you'll be able to access all weekend long, updated with new information from injuries to who's in, who's out. I just put the link in the chat in case you're interested. But my defensive rankings between Pittsburgh or Buffalo would be Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh at the Houston Texans. That's what we'll do there, especially when you got TJ Watt running amok all over the NFL. Thank you for the dono. Appreciate you big time. Next question in order is from Matthew. I'm going to offer Madison and Moore for Lockett and Jacobs. I'm assuming that's Madison and DJ Moore for Lockett and Jacobs. And I prefer Josh Jacobs over Madison. I prefer Ty Lockett over DJ Moore. So I'm with you. What is up, Ewok? Ewick. Maybe this is an Ewok. I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry. Flowers, Collins, Tutu, Lockett, DeAndre Hopkins. We are going Flowers and Lockett. Lock it in. Lock it in, ladies and gentlemen. Palmer or Sutton? We're going Sutton. Lock it in. What's up, Jason? Welcome in, and thank you for the donation. Appreciate you. 12-team PPR, Tua, Lamar, Mostert, James Cook. So he's putting his lineup out there. He's got Jameson. What tier wide receiver could I get for Lamar? So you have Tua and Lamar. Here's what I'll say. I can only speak to the leagues that I've been in. I've played fantasy football for, probably 20 years now. That's crazy. I've played fantasy football over 20 years, especially in the last 5 to 10. Quarterbacks in a one quarterback format, they just don't, your typical nuanced player doesn't trade for a quarterback. They don't give up valuable running backs, valuable wide receivers, valuable tight ends for running backs. So I would say this, in my leagues, I couldn't see someone giving up a valuable piece for Lamar Jackson. Not because Lamar Jackson isn't helpful to your team. Not that it's not. I'm not saying he's not a superstar in fantasy. I'm not saying he's not great. It's just there's a lot of quarterbacks that you can start and be just fine. There's a much higher need for running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. So I'm going to list some names, and you're probably not going to like it, but I'm just trying to be realistic here. Maybe you can get a Drake London, Jerry Jeudy, which that would be fine. I don't think you can get Flowers, but that would be awesome. Maybe you can get Watson. Maybe you can get Tank Dell. I don't think you could get him though. Maybe Garrett Wilson. So obviously it depends on how your league values quarterbacks. Yeah. I maybe Nico Collins, maybe Pickens. I don't see anyone in my league doing that though. In the leagues that I'm playing, even if someone has Brock Purdy starting, they're like, no, I'm not going to trade for Lamar Jackson. I'm going to keep the guy that I can start in my flex, So, anyway, I hope that's helpful, but your league might be different to mine, Also flex. So I guess the question is, I don't know how many starters you have, my man. Right? So I'm not sure who's already starting for you, Jason. I see your team, but I don't know who's already starting, and is it 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers? You got to start Mostert, and you got to start Cook, and then you got to start Diggs, and you got to start Waddle, and then if I'm flexing Kirk this week with no Zay Jones. So hopefully that's helpful. But I appreciate that. Guys, let me know in the chat. Is your league similar in one quarterback leagues? Maybe I'm missing the mark. I would love to hear the chat's opinion. Do you guys feel like quarterbacks hold a lot of trade value in your leagues? And if you're in a one quarterback, obviously Superflex is different. But I just know in my leagues, they just don't hold value in trades. What is up, Mass? Thank you for the donation, man. We'll get to your question straight away. 12-team PPR. I traded Jacoby Myers, Puka, and Dalvin Cook for Waddle and Najee. I feel like I lost, but I needed a piece of the Miami offense. Did I lose? I traded Jacoby Myers, Puka, and Dalvin Cook for Waddle and Najee. Ah, man. I don't like it, dude. I'm sorry. I could blow steam up your ass right now and just tell you I like it and lie to you and be like, yeah, dude, you killed the trade. I just got to be honest with you. I think the point of our channel is hopefully just to bring our honest opinions. I think it's more valuable for me to offer you an honest opinion. And I would rather have the Jakobi Meyers and Puka side. I mean, we talked about it earlier on the stream, but Jakobi Meyers is averaging 11 targets a game with Jimmy G. Jimmy G will be back next week. After that, he clears concussion protocol. He's averaging over 22 points per game with Jimmy G. Puka looks like the offensive rookie of the year, potentially. We don't know when Kupp will be back. And Najee looks unstartable. So I almost feel like you went from an unstartable asset in Dalvin Cook to an unstartable asset in Najee. So yeah, like I said, I just want to be honest. I would rather be honest than just tell you that you won the trade to make you feel good, you know. But just my opinion. It doesn't mean that you lost. Let's see what happens, right? I'm sorry to be so bleak, and I really do appreciate the donation. All right, let's go on to the next one in order. It's from Tristan. I'm starting Swift, Henry, Chase, Waddle. Do I flex Pittman or Mixon? Feeling Pittman. I think we answered this question already. I'm fine with Pittman. Start 2, Amari Cooper, Palmer, Tank Dell, and Thielen in full PPR. If Watson is playing, we're absolutely starting Amari Cooper. And honestly, even if Watson doesn't play, this would be Cooper and Dell for me. This would be Cooper and Dell. Isaac, full PPR. Kirk, Nico, or Dell at flex. Oh, we answered this one in a super chat. Thank you, Isaac. Also, Drake London is on my waiver wire. As well should he be. It just depends. Like in a 12-man, I don't think London should be on the waiver wire. But in an 8-man, sure. Should I start DK Metcalf or T. Higgins? Very good question. And it's back-to-back in my rankings. T. Higgins and Metcalf. T. Higgins is my wide receiver 18. Metcalf is my 19. And T. Higgins has one of the best matchups for wide receivers. So that's where I would be leaning myself. Thielen over London. They're giving their opinions there. Let's see. London, Nico, or Palmer this week. This would be Nico for me. Victor, what is up? Should I dare to play Logan Thomas as my only tight end this week? Oh my God. That's disgusting, dude. I can't believe you're making me answer this question. Why are you doing this to me? Logan Thomas versus Philadelphia. God, that's disgusting. You know, what has Knox been doing, though? Knox has still been pretty involved, dude. And this is a high over-under. I have no idea who's the wide receiver 1 of this list, but I would play Knox. Ethan, what's up, my man? Also wondering how to choose between Cook, Alexander Mattison, and Zach Moss. That is a very good question. It would be Zach Moss for me. Or sorry, it would be James Cook and then Zach Moss and then Madison in that order. Higgins, Pittman, Nico Collins, Atwell, start 2. This would be Higgins and Pittman for me. Puka or Ayuk. That would be, I believe, Puka. Yep, but very close. Very, very close. Crystal, what's up? Help, I can't seem to get a win. All right. Are you wanting me to start your entire lineup? Try and ask a little more precise questions here, guys. We got a lot of questions we're trying to get through. You know, I've said this before on stream, but try and be a little more precise with the questions. I love you guys. I appreciate you. But do you need me to tell you to start Christian McCaffrey? You know, you don't need that. What's the question here? But you start CMC, you start Mostert, you start Ayuk. Why is your league only 1 wide receiver? That's so weird. Then you flex Flowers and you start Henry. Good luck. But I'm not going to do those kind of questions again, just so we're on the same page. Just I want to help everyone, but if I answer a question that in depth and I set your entire lineup, I'm not going to be able to help other people. Garrett Wilson or Palmer? I know it's crazy. I'm going Palmer this week. Palmer or Elijah Moore? If Watson plays, we're going Elijah. If not, we're going Palmer. What is up? Aloha. Lamar or A-Rich? Very good question, and it's a good question. It really is. Right now, they're back-to-back in my rankings. I have Lamar at 6. I have Richardson at 7. So I am leaning Lamar, but it's not a crazy question. It's very, very close. All right, let's see. Question from Mikey here as I take a sip of water. I'm reading it. Mixon, Kelly, or Kendre Miller this week? I gotta go Mixon. Gotta go Mixon. Inside out, T or Javonte in the flex. I'm kind of leading toward Javonte. I would be going T Higgins there. Best of luck. What's up, Ace, the helpful hardware store? What's up, T-Bag? Palmer, Amari Cooper, Kirk, and Atwell. Pick 2, please. This is Cooper and Kirk for me, assuming Watson plays. Terry or Godwin this week? We will be going, oh my God, that's a disgusting one, isn't it? We'll go, man, Godwin is not getting any touchdown opportunity, is he? But then again, how are you supposed to start Terry McLaurin versus the Eagles? I'll go Godwin. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Lucy, what is up, Lucy? 12 man, 1 PPR, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex. All right, so we need 3 wide receivers here. We are absolutely... Okay, so I guess the question is, you're asking me, sit Myers for Lockett with Jimmy out. Yeah, I would. I'm assuming that's your question there. Would you sit Myers for Lockett with Jimmy out? And yes, I would. A-Chain or Higgins for the flex. I'll go T. Higgins. It's a great matchup. That's got to be one of the best matchups of the week. That has to be the number 1 bounce back candidate, T. Higgins. Anything's possible, but he's in my starting lineups. Do I need to be a member? No. You should be able to send a super chat regardless. What is up, Terry? Debo, Cooper, Puka, Cook. You need 2. Got to start Debo if he plays. Yes, start Puka. So, yeah. That's how we roll it out. Now, if Debo doesn't play, I go James Cook if Debo doesn't play. White, Kelly, or Hall? I'll go Rachaad White. What's up, Ice Cream? Pick 1. Anthony Richardson or Tua? I'll go Tua. What is up, Nathan? Pick 1 for flex. Dotson, Mims, D. Cook, or Sky Moore. Pick 1 for the flex. Dotson, Mims, Dalvin Cook, or Sky Moore. Sheesh. That's a tough one, my guy. That is not an easy cookie to crack. Definitely can't start Dalvin Cook. This is between Sky Moore and Dotson for me. Yeah. Neither of these guys are really exciting, are they? I'm going to lean Jahan Dotson there. I think he's the best player of the options that you've sent through. We did just get a super chat. This is from Reese. Thank you for the super chat, Reese. We'll get to this question straight away. And if you guys can do me a favor and drop a like on the stream, simple way to help support. Drop a super chat if you want your question answered straight away. Otherwise, we'll go in order. 12-man PPR money leak. Garrett Wilson or Josh Palmer? This is Palmer for me. Kansas City's defense has looked great. There's obviously a possibility that I regret sitting Garrett Wilson. But, I started Sam Laporte on Thursday Night Football over Garrett Wilson this week. I struggle to see how that offense is effective versus a very good defense in Kansas City. I talked about this before. They're currently last in yardage per game. They're last in passing yards per game. They're second to last in red zone attempts per game. Second to last in first downs per game. They're not moving the ball very much. Neither of their running backs are efficient. They're dealing with injuries. Zach Wilson's got like the 40th QBR or something like that. Ridiculous. There's only 32 starting guys. I can't start Garrett Wilson. Also I have Garrett Wilson, Cooper Collins starting. Do I have hope for Wilson or trade up? I am currently, even though I just talked a bunch of trash about Garrett Wilson's offense, I'm currently buying him. And I talked about this week in a video, but all I've heard for the past 3 weeks is sell Garrett Wilson, sell Garrett Wilson, sell Garrett Wilson, sell Garrett Wilson. Well, if everyone's selling Garrett Wilson, eventually there's going to be some good deals for him, right? Going around. And this week, Zach Wilson is starting. However, I am buying Garrett Wilson because I believe that won't last for very long. Okay. And at some point we will see a different quarterback than Zach Wilson, and that will help Garrett Wilson. So hopefully that's helpful, Reese. Appreciate the donation. The next question we had in order was from the playbook. Mostert, Connor, Madison, pick 2. This would be, I believe, Mostert and Madison for me. Yes, this is Mostert and Madison for me. Let's see. Hopefully Akers doesn't take too much from Madison. Lucas, what's up? Which 2 running backs? Connor, Ford, Achane, Stevenson. Thanks for answering these. No worries. This would be Stevenson and Connor. Stevenson and Connor. Good luck. Ice Cream, I think he means max 4 receivers on the bench. Yeah, you could be right there. My bad. Rachaad White, Ford, Sutton, or Madison for flex in a PPR league. Rachaad White, Ford, Sutton, or Madison. This would be Sutton. That would be Sutton. I hear you. Let's hope he has a good week. What is up, Kenneth? Follow up. Yeah, man, I was thinking too much, but I got them off waivers, so I was thinking free Calvin Ridley. But I will put more value into waiver players, but some completely fall off. No, you're right. I mean, look, there's a chance that Calvin Ridley absolutely takes off and Puka, has a down trajectory. There's a chance. We answered this one already, my man. We said Lamar. If you guys don't mind, just make sure you hang around on the stream because we are always answering questions. It's just, unless it's a super chat, you just got to be a little bit patient for us to get to your question. So don't put it in there double time. Kung Fu Cats, half PPR, 12-man league, need to flex 2. We'd be going Zach Moss and James Conner here. Should I trade Najee for Jonathan Taylor? Absolutely. I honestly, like, if someone on this stream, excuse me, lips are a little chapped. If someone on this stream was in a league with me and they said, "Hey man, I'll buy you like a $10 meal right now and you can give me Najee Harris for free in a league," I'd be tempted. It's rough out there in Pittsburgh. Love that. Let's see. You'd only get Curtis Samuel or Robert Woods. Jesus says, for your quarterback comment, I traded Fields and Brian Robinson for Jalen Hurts. Okay. Makes sense. Rule number 1, never trade for a quarterback in a non-superflex league. For sure. All right. PPR 10-man flex. Do I trade CD or CD for Cup and JT? I have Puka. Do I trade CD for Cup and JT? Nah, man, I'm keeping CD. I don't have the gonads to wait on Cup and JT. If you do, then you got some heavy gonads. I don't. So, yeah. All trades get vetoed in my league. Gotta live by the wire. That's so lame, man. That is so lame. I hate when commissioners just like abuse their power. It's so frustrating. Like, everyone's adults here. Like, you're not playing with children. You don't need to use a veto. People make their decisions. Is there some dumb trades out there? Yeah. But that's the point of the game, right? And oftentimes you look back at trades in like 2 months, from when they happen, and the person that you were mad at probably lost a trade, Nothing gets me more riled up about leagues than people vetoing trades. Unless there's clear collusion, then let a trade go through. Do you just not like having any fun at all? Jeez Louise. We have a super chat. What is up, Cy? Pick 2 from these options. Miles Sanders, Achane, Ramondre Stevenson, Brian Robinson, half PPR team, 12 team. Thanks for all the work and advice. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the donation. We'll get to your question straight away here. So for me, if Miles Sanders plays, he's in my lineup. So if Sanders plays, this would be Sanders and Stevenson. Now, if Sanders does not play, this would be Devon, Achane, and Stevenson for me. So I appreciate the support, man. Hopefully that works out well for you. I did just get a super chat from Mushback, but we have no comment on it. Is there a question he's submitted that I haven't seen? Mushback, I want to answer your question if you have one, but I don't see one there. All right, the next question that we had in order was from Playbook. I got JT, Bijan, Connor, and Kamara Monty. It's a good room. Trade Kamara for Javonte and Laporta. I will say this. If you need a tight end and you don't have a solidified guy, absolutely. Like, Laporta is a must-start rest of the year. He really is. I know he was, like, underwhelming this week, but that had everything to do with the game script. I mean, this team was dominating throughout the game. In games where they're more competitive, Laporta is going to be such a good start. I heard Jacoby might be traded to a contender. It's possible. It's certainly possible. They just signed him in this offseason, though. I can't think of many examples where a team trades away a guy that they just signed in free agency. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying I will put a low percentage on that happening. Volpe says, if Miles Sanders does not play tomorrow, should I start Breece Hall or Roscoe? I'm going Roscoe, man. I'm going Roscoe. Would you start CJ or Trevor? I'm going Trevor. Ferguson or Hunter Henry? I'll actually need to check my rankings on that one. We're going Ferguson. They're back-to-back in my rankings. Back-to-back in my rankings, so that probably doesn't help you. But I'm trying. I'm trying to help. Solomon says, should I trade Jamar Chase for Saquon? My wide receiver room is Hill, Pittman, Chase, Thielen, Davis, Hollywood. My running backs are Walker and Kelly. Oof. Yeah, man. Walker and Kelly, that is rough. Here's what I'll say. I believe that you should be able to get more for Jamar Chase than just Saquon Barkley. And when I say that, what I'm saying is, how can you benefit in a 2-for-2 deal, right? So is there a scenario in which you can get, let's say, Saquon Barkley and Tank Dell, and you send away Chase and Thielen, for example, right? Or Chase and Kelly. So I'm all for doing the trade and getting Saquon. I'm all for helping your running back room, but make it a 2-for-2 where you upgrade somewhere. All right, we got a super chat here from Mushbag. Appreciate the donation. Very, very kind of you. I traded Nakua for Laporta. My wide receivers are Hill, Ridley, Wilson, Downs. I was streaming tight ends. If Laporta finishes as a top 6 tight end, is it worth it? Ooh, I was hoping that your wide receiver room was deeper when I saw this question, Mushbag. How many wide receivers can you start on a weekly basis? Because I love starting Tyreek Hill and Calvin Ridley. I don't love starting Garrett Wilson or Josh Downs right now. That could change. It's pretty equal value. Like, I expect Puka to score more points per game. But Laporta, the points that he gives to the tight end position, you could argue have more value. So it's relatively even. It really is relatively even. I just would have preferred your depth to be a little bit stronger at the wide receiver position, because I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're going to have to start Wilson and Downs if there's like multiple flex spots in that league. But it's close. It is close. All right, what is up? Trade Connor and Ridley for Bijan in a 10 team. Man, that is tough. Because Connor looks great right now, dude. And I think Ridley's going to be much better. Here's what I'll say. Like, if Ridley is someone that you're not starting, let's say you have like 4 wide receivers and you prefer all of them over Ridley, I'm fine with it. But I would say in most teams, Ridley's an important piece as well as James Conner. I lean Bijan, though, if you have the depth. Oh my God, I've been talking for like almost 2 hours straight, all by myself. My throat is starting to hurt. Volpe, CD, Puka, Amari Cooper, Pickens, Myers. Which two should I start? Thank you. Yeah, this would be CD and Puka for me. For sure. Burrow or Geno Smith? Man, that's a really good question, my man. Really good question. I've got Burrow one spot higher in my rankings. One spot higher. I know it's been bad. I know it's not been good. It's not looked good. But the matchup is incredible. And we're going to trust that. We're going to trust that Burrow is who he showed he is since he was in the league compared to what he's shown us the first 3 weeks this year. Moss or Dell, I would go Zach Moss. Last flex spot, Elijah Moore or who the fuck is that? Excuse my language. Damn. Come on, bro. Family friendly stream. Who the hell is that? Oh, that's DJ. I didn't know that was his name. Deniston Oliver? Am I the only one finding this out right now? How does that make sense to call him DJ then? Let's go Deniston Oliver though, because I like the matchup a little bit better, and I don't. If Watson doesn't play, definitely Deniston Oliver. That's hilarious. Fields or Anthony Richardson. We'll go A-Rich there. Jalen Waddle or Puka. I have Puka ranked one spot higher. Actually, sorry. I have Waddle ranked one spot higher. So it would be Waddle for me. They're very close, but that Dolphins game, Bills game is the highest over-under of the week. I'm going to go ahead and chase that matchup a little bit if I can. Fernando. Who am I benching? So I guess you have to choose one here. It would be Gabe Davis for me. I also have Debo. Yeah, if Debo plays, you play Debo. Appreciate the feedback. No worries. Algier, Breece Hall. Good God. That is good luck, Soldier, this week. That is a tough question to answer. I'll go Breece. That's a tough one, my man. Rashad White or Kelly this week? I'm going Rashad White there. C Buck says I have Burrow and Purdy. Thinking of cutting Purdy for Richardson. Absolutely. If Richardson's on your waiver wire, then your league is sleeping. Thought bro was about to vape. No, we just put on some chapstick, you know. Donald, thank you so much. Tank Dell it is. Last week I didn't listen to you and lost by 4. Look, we're going to hit and we're going to miss. You know, we're not going to have 100% success rate here, but we do our best to help you. Jesus, what is up? Start Mostert or Lockett. This would be Mostert for me. Different team. Someone offering me Tyreek, but wants Amon-Ra and Ken Walker. Look, unless you're really deep at running back, I don't think you can afford to make that move. I want Tyreek Hill, but we're talking about 2 top 10, maybe top 5 guys at the wide receiver and running back position. It's not like we're talking potential flex options. You're moving 2 must-start guys every single week out of your lineup. So, yeah, in that scenario, unless you're extremely deep, even then, I think you need more. Can't wait for Kupp and Jameson, man. I have them in my bench since the beginning. I'm excited too. Stroud or Lawrence. I'm rocking with Lawrence. I know it's been rough, but he's actually played well if you watch the games. It's just his receivers have let him down. And he's just been like inches away from multiple touchdowns. Should I play Chuba at flex if Sanders doesn't play? I'm completely fine with that. Jacoby Myers or Brian Robinson or Kyron. This is Kyron for me. Pick 2 for RB2 and flex. Okay, so you need to pick 2. This would be Kyron and Kyron and Sanders if he plays. If Sanders doesn't play, it's Kyron and Stevenson. Let me take a second and see if there's any news. Excuse me, that I might have missed while we've been live streaming. Okay, no news yet. Rex says Tank Dell, Tutu Atwell or Adam Thielen as my flex option behind Bijan and Madison. Tank Dell, Tutu Atwell or Adam Thielen. This would be Tank Dell for me, my man. By the way, guys, over 100 people watching the stream. We've been live for about an hour and almost 40 minutes or so.
Can you do me a favor? Drop a like if you have yet to do so. Friendly reminder that if you drop a super chat, we'll get to your question straight away. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. I'm going in order. I'll probably be live for another 10 minutes or so. Ann says, should I trade Kamara and Dotson for Brian Robinson and Hopkins? I'd rather have Kamara and Dotson. No worries, Addy. Quick question. My running backs, I can have two. Yeah, this would be Kyron Williams and Swift. And that's what you're saying too. So we're on the same page. Flowers or Ford? I'm going Flowers. Jay says, more context, trade Connor and Ridley for Bijan would give me Kyron, Najee, Moss, Brees at running back. No. Yeah. I can't do it, man. I cannot do it. Najee could have a good game this week, but I don't see any reason that we can trust him. Moss is great, but what happens if JT comes back? And Brees is on one of the worst offenses in the NFL. I just don't think you can make the move. Ayuk, Myers, or Kamara in the flex. This would be Ayuk. This would be Myers. What would this be? Let me double check. I haven't had this question yet. Yeah. I definitely need to adjust my rankings of Jacoby Myers. I'm looking at it now. This would be Jacoby still. Yeah, this would be Jacoby still. It's tough, man. It is really tough to start him. But I gotta go Jacoby there. You absolutely helped me. Thank you. I was leaning towards Ferguson, but that gives me assurance. All right, cool. Mushback says, I was trying to get DJ to give him Herbert or Rashawn. Hot take, Najee is not a good runner. I don't think it's a hot take anymore, man. I think we're all kind of on the same page with you, my man. I think we're all on the same page with you. Tyler says, I traded Mostert for Garrett Wilson and Najee. I lost Mike as my wide receiver 2. Is Wilson viable? Look, if the question is, am I excited to start Garrett Wilson this week? No, absolutely not. You know, I've said it so many times on the stream, but I don't want to sound like a broken record. This is the worst offense in the NFL. Easily the worst offense in the NFL right now. Last in yards per game, last in passing yards per game, bottom 2 in first downs and red zone attempts per game. They're not moving the ball down the field. Zach Wilson is bottom 40, like somewhere around the 35 to 40 range in QBR and almost every metric that you can look at for quarterbacks. However, I am excited about Wilson when a change happens at quarterback. Am I excited about him this week? No, definitely not. And I have to be honest with you, right now I feel personally like Mostert would have yielded more value in a trade than what you got. Just want to be honest. I could be wrong. But yeah. Ridley or Swift at flex. I'll go with Ridley. Ridley, Swift, or Puka. I'll go with Puka. Worried about Burrow versus the Titans pass rush. I hear you. But that's a great matchup. I'm still rocking with those wide receivers in Cincy. Tutu, Thielen, or Tank. This would be Tank for me. All right, we just got a super chat, so I'll answer that straight away. One more question. Travis Etienne, Jacobs, Jerome Ford, Achane, Gus Edwards, Pierce. Pick 3 options. So this would be Etienne, Jacobs, and Ford. Especially if we're in a 10-man league, or a standard league, sorry, is what I meant to say. No PPR involved at all. Yeah. We'll definitely start Josh Jacobs in that scenario. Appreciate the super chat, my man. All right. Next question we had here was from Matt. Drop Sky Moore for Jameson Williams? Oh, my God. I have no idea. Jameson Williams is the more exciting player to watch. For me, I can only see Sky Moore starting right now in a 14-man league. Otherwise, he's just a bench piece. whose role could grow. Sky Moore could be much better. He's on with the better quarterback. But yeah, I'll lean Jameson there. That's very close. Very, very close. No worries. Appreciate you. I have Bijan, Mostert, and Rashawn. For sure. The depth is regarding the Tyreek question. Yeah, I'll still have to stand by what I said there earlier. Zeke K says, should I start Cooper with a questionable Watson or CD? You start CD. Addison, Nico, Johnston, Tyler Lock, and Rice, Olave. Full PPR, pick 3. Awesome job, Pimp. Okay, appreciate you. Okay, so for me, you have to start Olave. That's 1. You got to start Tyler Lockett. That's 2. And we'll go Addison. That's 3. Good luck this week, though. Actually, Frame says traded CMC and Ridley for Tyreek. Oh, don't know if I like that. I am deep at my RB spot. Having JJ, Josh Jacobs, I guess that is, Kyron and James Cook, and Zach Moss Madison. My wide receiver position was weak. My wide receiver 1 was DK, and now it's Tyreek. Okay, it's an 8-man league. Man. I mean, you're essentially sending away the wide receiver 1 for the running back 1 for the wide receiver 1. So, like, it is pretty even. I don't know, dude. I guess in an 8-man, this is a scratch. Like, honestly, I'm trying to talk myself into who wins. I think it's a win for both sides. It's a win for both sides. What I will say is I think that Ridley's going to be much better than what he's shown in the last 2 weeks. So that's what concerns me. Like, I would have rather this trade had just been CMC for Tyreek straight up. Because I can't devalue CMC and I can't devalue Tyreek. They're both as valuable as each other. So I feel like Ridley should not be considered a throw-in piece even in an 8-man. But it is pretty much across the board pretty even. KJ, Tyler Algier, Zeke, Zach Charbonnet, or Gus Bus. You're in a tough spot there, my guy, aren't you? We'll go Gus Bus there. We'll go Gus Bus. Not exciting, though. Matt Breida or Herbert. I'm going with Breida if Saquon doesn't play. Mayfield or Watson. If that's Deshaun, definitely Deshaun if he plays, but Deshaun might not play. So we'll have to wait and see. Dark Star says PPR. Jerome Ford or Nico Collins in the flex. This would... Man, that's a tough one. Full PPR, let's go Nico. Sebastian's Funland says, which 2 should I start out of Amari, Cooper, Brandon, Ayuk, Zay Flowers, and Jacoby? This would be Ayuk for sure. And then it's between Zay Flowers and Amari Cooper. And assuming that Watson doesn't play, then we'll go Flowers. If Watson does play, we'll go Cooper. Matt Breida, Rashawn Johnson, or Kelly. We'll go Breida here. Whew. T-Bag says, should I start Tajay? Should I start Tajay for... Is that Saquon? Saquon is... he's been ruled doubtful. So the way I would operate is that he's not going to play. Now, anything can happen, but it's very rare that we ever see a doubtful designation turn into a starter. So hopefully that's helpful. But I would start Matt Breida over Tajay if you have that option. I'm excited for Jameson. He's exactly what the Detroit needs. I agree. I'm with you. What's up, Gorilla? Pick 2, Puka, Lockett, Flowers, Palmer, Ford. This would be Puka and Lockett for me. Moss or Swift, I'm going Moss. What defense you like on stream? Bucks, Rams, Broncos, Colts, or any other team you feel good about? I'll just go with the best defense there, which is the Bucks versus Jameis Winston. Should I trade Mostert for Kamara? I'm fine with that. I do think Kamara will be more valuable rest of season. What I will say is right now, I might hold because I feel like you could get more. I want that to be a 2 for 2 where I upgrade somewhere else as well. Trade Stevenson for B-Rob. No, I'll keep Stevenson. Didn't type the last message right. Trade away Connor and Ridley to get Bijan. Currently have Connor, Najee, Brees, Moss, Kyron. Yeah, I just don't feel like when you lose Connor, I don't feel good about Najee. I don't feel good about Brees. Moss and Kyron are fine. I guess now you can choose between Bijan. I'm fine with it. You have enough depth. I'm fine with it. AGZ says, what name value running back can I get for Addison? I'm never able to start this guy. I mean, Addison is not someone I'm trading away. I mean, to me, it's just like you're sending away a lottery ticket before it cashes in. We've talked about this a bunch on the channel, but rookie wide receivers, they continually become more and more important to their offense over time. You saw it with Olave last year. You saw it with Wilson last year. You saw it with Justin Jefferson his rookie year. It's just, that's what happens with rookies. Their role grows as they learn the playbook, as they learn the NFL. And Addison hasn't even taken on the full wide receiver 2 role yet, and he's a wide receiver 27 on the year. So Addison isn't someone that I'm looking to trade away. However, if you do trade him away, I mean, maybe you could get the likes of a Jahmyr Gibbs right now off of a poor performance. You might be able to get like a, Montgomery potentially if people are skeptical on him. Maybe a Javonte Williams. Alvin if someone doesn't like him. Aaron Jones off a bad performance. But of course, as we always say, like every team is every league is so different. No worries. Should I start Lamar or A-Rich? I'm going Lamar. Cleveland or New Orleans? I'll go Cleveland. Start 2. Breece Hall, Josh Kelly, Rashawn Johnson, B-Rob. This would be Brian Robinson and Pacheco. Trade Ramondre and D-Hop for Waddle and Najee. Oh, I wouldn't bank on that trade happening. I'd rather have Waddle and Najee, as crazy as that sounds. No worries, KJ. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, guys, we've been live for a long time. I'm going to be live for the next 3 minutes, all right? If you want to question answer straight away, get it in the chat. I'm going to do my best. Obviously, super chats I'll prioritize. I'll stay on for any super chats, but my voice is about to go. Lamar or Richardson? I'm going Lamar, Dell, or Flowers. I'm going Flowers. Would you keep Montgomery over Pierce for the season? Absolutely. I had Montgomery over Pierce before the year. Montgomery's a my guy this year. Have him everywhere. And Pierce is not someone that I was ever excited about. With Jimmy out, do I start Myers or Palmer? If you need upside, Palmer. If you need floor, Myers. Fred says, should I drop Gus Edwards for Rashawn Johnson? Yes, I would. You need 3. Yeah, this would be Diggs, Tank, and Myers for me. All right, it looks like that's all the questions for today, guys. I did my absolute best to stay on as long as I could. Normally, I got my partner with me, so my throat isn't getting destroyed. But he's with his wife today. What I will say is, if you want my weekly rankings, over 300 players ranked at every position, then go ahead and sign up with our promo code LAND. I just put it in the chat to the Flock Fantasy website. And what is the Flock Fantasy website? I'm going to take a second and tell you, in case anyone really cares. The Flock Fantasy website is a collaboration from all of the best content creators on YouTube. We've got Mason from Flock Fantasy, ourselves from Fantasyland and Dynastyland, the guys from Endgame, the guys from Stock Exchange and Fantasy Domain. We all collaborate on this site to put out the best offerings that you can get. You get articles from everyone on the site when you sign up. You can see my weekly rankings here. Over almost 3,500 people have looked at that this week. But in my weekly rankings, quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, defense, kickers, start and sits of the week, updated rankings as injury news comes out. You get rankings for rest of season as well on the team on the site. And if you choose the Mother Flocker tier, we talk a lot about the fantasy hotline. If you buy the Mother Flocker tier with our promo code LAND, you get a direct DM to us where you can ask us questions. That is only for people who sign up with our code LAND to the Mother Flocker tier. Go ahead, use our promo code, sign up, let us know what you think of the website, DM us, we'll get you all hooked up. Not only do you unlock everything that I just mentioned, you unlock the entire Discord, the best Discord for fantasy football in the world. So make sure you check it out. You get access to our Dynasty Trades show, which we do every week in the off season. It's a great resource. So many people love it, and we appreciate you guys. I've been talking for over 2 hours straight now. My voice is going. Again, if you need rankings, this is always updated over on the Flock Fantasy website. Would you drop Zay Jones and pick up Jameson? No, I don't think I would. White or Connor this week? I'm going Connor. That is it for today. Hey, Badaki did just drop a video over on the channel. If you guys are looking for more content to watch, he dropped a video, 10 players ready to boom. I got my top 50 running back rankings. We got trades that you can make, right? Both of us released trade videos. Watch those before the week. We got start sits for every running back, every matchup on the channel. We're pumping out as much as we possibly can. Like, being 100% transparent with you guys, I'm exhausted at every moment of every day during the season. And it's because all I do is watch football, analyze games, look at metrics, look at analytics, make content, do live streams, set lineups. And I love it. I love it. But I have no energy for anything else. So appreciate you guys. Again, if you want to support, check out the Flock Fantasy website. It's a great way to support what we do. And actually, last thing I'll say is if you want to give me a follow on Twitter, that'd be cool too. I put out some cool stuff. You know, I'm a cool guy over on Twitter. I'll put the link in the chat. Go give me a follow on the Twitter sphere if you don't mind. I just tweeted out something recently, and it went viral. You know, I'm famous now. Not really. No one really cares. But I tweet out my thoughts, my opinions. We talk about the games. So if you want to give me a little follow over on the Twitter sphere, we can talk over there at times. Just put out my random thoughts. But that's it for today. Appreciate you guys. Love ya. I got no energy left in my tank, so I'm going to go take a nap. But that is it, gang. We'll see you very, very soon. DM me if you have any questions about signing up to the website. And DM me if you have the fantasy hotline, if you have questions. Go get a W. Good luck this week. All love.